What is good, everybody? It's your boy TJ, and today we're going to be doing a review, a non-spoiler review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm a huge fan of the Guardians franchise. The first one is in my top 3 favorite MCU films. Number 2, I liked it. It wasn't as good as the first one, but I mean, come on, that's not fair to really compare, because the first one is damn near perfect in my opinion. Volume 3, I was very excited for, especially the way they promoted it. It's the last Guardians film with this team that we know and love. And I'm not gonna lie, this is the most emotional Marvel movie yet. And we're talking about 30-something MCU films. Like, that's a lot of movies. And in my opinion, this is the most emotional one yet. So it's kind of hard to talk about this plot, especially because this is a non-spoiler review. The actual plot is not in the trailer. It's not in any of the commercials. All we know is that a large portion of the story is revolved around Rocket Raccoon and his backstory. The High Evolutionary, the villain who creates all these mad, evil creations with animals and machinery. It's pretty messed up and very graphic. And you still got Peter trying to fix his relationship with Gamora. So since those are the 3 things that have been heavily promoted, that's what I'm going to talk about in this review. The first one I'm going to talk about is Rocket Raccoon. It's kind of hard to imagine that after all the times we've seen Rocket in these different movies, that this late in the game, in the MCU game, we are just now getting his backstory, and it literally bumped up Rocket into my top 3 favorite MCU characters. It is very powerful stuff, and you are very empathetic toward Rocket and how he was created, and you see how he was, you know, pretty much tortured by High Evolutionary since he was a baby. This movie adds so many layers to Rocket's character to the point where I was rewatching Guardians 1 like 2 days ago, and the part where him and Drax are drunk, they're arguing, he's saying, he called me a monster, you don't know what it's like to be ripped apart and put back together over and over again. Like, it hits different because of what I've seen in Volume 3. Like, you see what he's talking about. And that leads me to the villain High Evolutionary, played by Chuck Woody, I believe is his name. He is the most hateable villain that we've had in the MCU yet. And a big part of that probably has to do with because he's doing these horrific surgeries on animals, and the special effects are so well done because these little baby raccoons and all these other animals look so real where you feel it. You really feel like he's torturing these animals. The actor was so good that if I seen him on the street, I'd probably want to call PETA and get this man arrested. And the third point I want to talk about is the Star-Lord and Gamora relationship. I feel like this is one of Chris Pratt's best performances. All I can say is that the way they handled Quill and Gamora's relationship is beautifully done. There was a lot of thought into it, and I was actually happy with the outcome. In all honesty, everybody did great in this film. I love this team, and we actually, in my opinion, get the best action sequence in any MCU film outside of any Avengers film. And you know, think of like Kingsman, the church scene, or even the first Avengers film where it goes hero to hero, kind of like in one take. And I was smiling ear to ear because not only is it action-packed, not only is there a great song playing in the background, but you kind of take it in that, wow, this is probably the last big sequence with this Guardians team. I also can't talk about a Guardians film without mentioning the soundtrack, and in my opinion, Volume 3, the soundtrack is the best of the trilogy. This is the longest movie of the trilogy. You're looking at 2.5 hours. This is a long movie. There were some things that I feel like could have been cut to make it shorter, but the runtime didn't get in the way or anything like that. So when it comes to the comedy, you know there's gonna be funny scenes. It's the Guardians, it's James Gunn, you're gonna laugh your ass off. My only gripe is that after certain dramatic scenes, I feel like I didn't get enough time to really take it in because not even 2 minutes later, there's already a comedic scene. Other than that, you know, tons of hilarious moments, and there are tons of very sad, empathetic moments as well. We do get introduced to Adam Warlock, who was teased at the end of Guardians Volume 2. I will say this, a lot of people might not like his character. In my opinion, it makes sense and it went well with the overall theme of the film, but it may be hit or miss. I don't want to get into spoilers, but I was a fan of Adam Warlock. My overall thoughts is that I loved Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and if you're a fan of the franchise, I'm pretty sure you will too. It is a great conclusion to the Guardians trilogy. I'm so happy that James Gunn was able to come back and, you know, finish his trilogy the way he wanted. If I had to give Guardians Volume 3 a score out of 10, I'm going 8.5 out of 10. if I had to rank them, I'm still going Guardians 1 because I feel like that's nearly perfect. So Guardians 1, Volume 3, Volume 2, which I would give Volume 2 like a 7, 7.5. So in no way do I think that's a bad film, but that is my ranking. Let me know in the comment section below if you are excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And yeah, man, don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you later.